What's up, my fellow tea queens and kings? I typically haven't been making a lot of Amberlynn Reid content, especially compared to where my channel originally started. This video is gonna be a little bit different because I'm gonna riff more in this video than anything. Typically, you know, I take a couple videos and I'll break them down and I'll talk about them and do whatever. But this one, as the title suggests, is me discussing the end of Amberlynn Reid, or Amberlynn Reid is over. I've made a video about this in the past, a couple years ago I think, discussing her downturn in relevancy and what I thought the future of her channel would look like. And I haven't made a video about hers in a month and a half or 2 months, something like that. And the last video I watched was actually her last air quote relevant video. Now I should get this out there before I even get any further. She still pulls like 40k plus views every video, and she uploads basically every other day. So she's still doing fine. She's getting plenty of views, you know, she's probably reaching close to 1 million views a month, I would guess, something like that. So she's doing okay. It's more of the, I think her relevancy as a content creator has reached its apex, and that probably came way before this 2-month drought has gone on, because I think people have really started to clue in that she just is a boring, uninteresting content creator. Every single one of her videos are exactly the same, and she just tries to trick her audience into clicking on her videos and getting pissed off, and it's whatever. I'm surprised that she still has as big of an audience as she does now, you know, because I waned off her for a year or so until I came back, and I've only made a couple videos on her since I've come back to making videos consistently. So, you know, I don't know. I don't keep up with the whole community, because there was like some infighting going on for the longest time with the Amberlynn Reid and the T universe people, and it's like, I don't really want to get involved in that. You know, I try and focus on clowning on people, but like, I'm not going out of my way to be like vitriolic. I feel like a lot of people that watch Amberlynn Reid, or a lot of people that make content on Amberlynn Reid, I should say, have this like weird obsession with destroying her, I guess. It's like, yeah, I make videos about her critiquing what she's saying, but I'm not here like obsessing over her every move and what's going on, especially with like how consistently inconsistent she is. She is consistently just posting the same muck and garbage over and over again. So it's like, I'm not gonna waste my time getting upset on her gaining weight for the 50th time, and then her coming back and saying that she's dieting and doing whatever. You know, it's just like, her cycle has gotten a little bit stale to me. And, you know, there's plenty of people that still find her intriguing. And to be honest, I do find her intriguing. I just don't know if she's worth me keeping up with, if that makes any sense. So, you know, I don't want to be dogging on anybody that is still a fan. You know, you can watch whatever you want. It's also partially that I've stumbled on some other lolcows I think are far more intriguing. They just do more stuff. Their personality is more than like an inch deep. So that's what I've been really focusing on. Either way, I've been rambling for so long. Either way, I just don't see myself really focusing on Amberlynn too much, and unless she does something crazy. So I thought we could react to one of her videos about how trauma has made her fat, and then go over some of her videos in the past 2 months to discuss the view count and why I don't think they're necessarily working. Either way, if you made it this far, I appreciate you, because I typically make these intros relatively short, and people are always like, just show the clips, man, just show the clips, I don't want to hear you talk. Well, it's my channel, I'm going to talk if I want to, if I have something I'm thinking about. So either way, let's get into this first clip.
Will you continue therapy after the 12 required sessions? Yes, 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 yes. Big fat yes. So I feel like therapy before the surgery is just like the beginning stages. I'm just like tipping my toes in the lake.
She knows a whole lot about tipping her toes in the lake, especially when she almost crushed Twinkie that one time that they went to Poop Lake. I'm sure you all remember that moment. Either way, this clip is pretty indicative of exactly what I was talking about in terms of Amberlynn Reid. She says she's going to continue therapy after her required sessions and whatever, and she might for a little bit. She obviously won't long term, she never does. I feel like a lot of my recent videos on her just sort of morph into me just being like, oh, come on, like, this is the same thing over again. So I have to try and keep my energy a little bit up when discussing her, but let's be real. Somebody that has never been consistent her entire public persona career, we're really gonna think that she's gonna magically transform now? I highly doubt that.
When did you first start turning to food for comfort? This started at a very, very, very young age. I have always been bigger than I was supposed to be, even as a toddler.
And here's the thing about Amberlynn Reid is that her story sets her up to be such a interesting and motivational character, but she just completely squanders all that by being lazy and not following through with anything. Because yes, she did have a very traumatic upbringing, and nobody can deny that, and I'm not gonna allow people to say that, oh, but she's so much older now. It's like, we can't really determine when she is allowed to stop caring about her trauma, if that makes sense. I think it's perfectly fine that she is still impacted by her trauma. It still morphs over to things. However, she can't directly blame her trauma on why she hasn't lost weight and has been a relatively bad person to everybody in her surrounding circles for years. Because it's her responsibility as an adult to try and make efforts to change that. And that's why so many people have told her about going to see a doctor, going to see a therapist, getting on healthcare, doing X, Y, and Z. It's like, her fans that leave comments in her comment section, I feel like are people that actually want to see her succeed. I think a lot of them are fed up. But like, compared to a lot of other locales I cover, they don't really go at her in terms of jokes. It's more of like a disappointment. It's more of a who do you think you're fooling type of thing. So it's like, she has a support group that could help her, but she doesn't want to be helped. And I think everybody has come to understand that as her channel has gone on, that she just wants to keep being the victim in every scenario and then gaslighting her fan base into believing what is not true. So choose how you want to attack this scenario.
The scale is actually meant for like car parts. I bought this years ago. It was super expensive, but it's the most accurate scale. It's never faltered, and I've had it for years, but it was hurting my ankle when I was getting on it, but it doesn't anymore. So I'm going back to that.
I remember the car scale. I was around when that initially got introduced several years ago. So, I'm flashing my Ivy League jacket type of my ID to show off that I'm a real chutzpah, But this whole thing, she is talking about essentially that she's weighing herself with some other scale and then weighed herself on this scale and realized that the weights aren't adding up or whatever. And then she says that she stopped using the car weight scale because she hurt her ankle stepping on it. What does that even mean? How do you hurt your ankle on it? I know it's higher than like an inch off the ground like a typical scale would be. It's got some oomph to it. It's a couple inches up in the air. But how are you hurting yourself on it? I think the more likely scenario is that you thought better, or you thought that you knew better and got some other rinky-dink thing and thought that would be relevant or whatever. I don't know. The whole thing is so dumb. This is such a petty thing to be upset about.
I'm going to be following my dietitian's rules, you know, doing everything that she wants me to do, like food wise. So I'm really excited for that to start showing up on the scale. But here's my weigh-in for today. I did take a picture for you guys, 523.6. And it's sad because I did think I was back in the 400s, but I am okay. I am so okay with this.
This is also why Amberlynn is just sort of the worst. I mean, she is constantly lying all the time. We had assumed that she was in the 500s for forever until she finally revealed that she was. And now she's not really losing any weight. And now she says that she's perfectly fine with it because she knew she was doing bad. And she was hoping she was in the 400s and whatever. And it's like, you constantly tell your fans that you don't binge and that you're going to follow your dietitian's words. What are you talking about? You're just lying. You're obviously not, because you keep everything away from the fans, and then your results prove that you're lying to us. So, like, I don't know. And it's like, why should people feel bad for you if you're okay with you being at 400 or 524 pounds? Like, my head's like exploding. You want us to give you sympathy, yet you're perfectly content with where you are? You know, I've seen you cry plenty of times over your weight, but nothing ever changes. So, like, the whole thing is just moot at this point. It just is dumb. It's so dumb. Either way, let's move on to looking at her past, like, I don't know, 30 videos and discussing some things about them. So the bad news one is the one I most recently covered, and it was essentially her saying that she got pushed on the back burner for weight loss surgery or whatever, has over 100,000 views, and she has steadily declined since then. You know, you start looking at all these things and it's like, get ready with me, explaining my foods, doing whatever, and they're all the same. What the video that we just watched are all of these videos just repeated over and over and over again. So it's not surprising, it's not interesting. I mean, there are some videos of hers that are pulling in 30,000 views. That's crazy compared to where she was. And if we look most recently to where she's posting videos, she's starting to use her body as clickbait a lot more. She does it all the time, but you can see it in the shopping videos and her just walking around and doing whatever. I mean, it's kind of surprising, in all honesty. I'm a little bit surprised. Either way, she can still do a decent living off of what she is currently providing, but I wouldn't be surprised. The French Revolution that she had at the beginning of this year did not help her garner viewership, and I honestly don't think there's much that could from here on out. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was a little bit off beat from my typical videos, but I hope you still enjoyed it. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.